So I've been admitted into the Glory to the Heroes playtest. So this is a tactical first-person shooter with PvP play, though I'm not sure if the whole game is PvP. But this playtest is focusing on the PvP experience, so I just want to read the opening here. It says, "Content warning. This game contains content that may be distressing to some players. Realistic depictions of combat violence, including graphic injury and death. Depictions of war crimes and harm to civilians based on documented events from the ongoing armed conflict in Ukraine. Strong language, including ethnic slurs and derogatory terms used in a wartime context. Themes of psychological distress, including trauma, loss, and the psychological toil of armed conflict. This content is intended for mature audiences. Player discretion is advised." Early Access Playtest Build. You are playing an early demo build with a limited scope of content. This release represents a small, focused slice of the full experience, dedicated to playtesting core PvP combat mechanics, netcode, and gameplay balance. This is not the full game. Many features, maps, game modes, and systems are either incomplete or not yet included. Expect rough edges, placeholder content, and ongoing changes. Your feedback during this phase directly shapes the development of the final product. We appreciate your patience and your willingness to help us build something meaningful. A note from the developers. This playtest is set in the real city of Chasiv Yar, Ukraine, a city that has been subjected to systematic destruction by the armed forces of the Russian Federation since 2024. On the inclusion of a playable Russian faction. This game features playable Russian armed forces, Rusfor, as an opposing faction. We understand this may raise questions, and we want to address them directly. Military simulation as a genre demands authentic representation of both sides of a conflict. Omitting the aggressor does not erase their actions, it obscures them. By depicting Russian forces as they operate, their equipment, their tactics, their doctrine, we aim to provide an unflinching and honest portrayal of the reality faced by Ukrainian defenders every day. The inclusion of Rusfor in this game is not an endorsement, it is an indictment. Every building you fight through, every street you cross, every ruin you take cover behind, these are real places. Real people live there. Many of them are now dead, displaced, or missing. Who we are. Our entire development team is Ukrainian. We are based in Ukraine. We live under the same skies that carry the drones and missiles this game depicts. Some of us have lost friends, family, and homes to this war. We did not choose to make a war game. The war came to us, and this is how we choose to respond. We condemn in the strongest possible terms the Russian Federation's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, its systematic targeting of civilian infrastructure, its torture and execution of prisoners of war, its deportation of Ukrainian children, and its ongoing campaign of terror against the Ukrainian people. This game exists to show the world what is happening here, not from a safe distance, not through a sanitized lens, but from the ground, from the perspective of those under assault. We ask that you play with this understanding. What's it, stuck in a loading loop? Escape? Skip? Guess you gotta hit skip. Action required before playing. Before your first match, you must configure your graphics settings to match your hardware. Running on incorrect settings will cause significant performance issues, visual artifacts, and degraded gameplay experience. Cinematic quality presets are not recommended for real-time gameplay. Hardware ray tracing will severely impact performance on most systems. If you enable either, ensure you know what you are doing. Pay extra attention to lumen, global illumination, and reflections. It is the most performance-demanding feature. If native resolution is too heavy for your system, enable DLSS, FSR, or XESS upscaling for a significant FPS boost with minimal visual loss. Open the settings menu to adjust resolution, quality presets, and display options for your system. Motion blur, 0. I don't need any of that crap. Motion sickness, max distortion caused by the motion blur, 0. I don't want that crap. Oh, here, I'll just turn it off. Bloom applies a visual effect that simulates the way light bleeds or blooms around bright areas in the game world. This can create a more realistic or stylized look. Excessive bloom can make the image appear overly bright or washed out. Bloom is cinematic, extreme, low, medium. Low, medium, high, epic, cinematic, extreme. I don't know, maybe medium will be enough. Intensity, do these don't change? These three settings here don't change? Size scale. Bloom size scale, control the scale for all bloom size. I don't know what that means. Bloom threshold, control the minimum brightness the bloom starts having an effect. Too high values can remove almost all bloom effects. I don't know. Intensity. Bloom intensity controls the strength or brightness of the bloom effect applied to the game. I don't know. These three, I would think that as you change these, setting above 5, force experimental, higher quality on mobile can be quite slow on some hardware. I would think that these settings would change with these settings, because I have no idea what to set these to. Lens flare, image-based. Applies a visual effect that simulates the appearance of a camera lens flare where bright light sources in the scene create reflections and artifacts on the camera lens. This can add a cinematic or atmospheric touch to the game's visuals. Overuse of lens flare can be distracting or obscure. I don't really need that, because I don't know, do you see lens flare on a cornea or just on a camera lens? Chromatic aberration is a visual effect that simulates the way different wavelengths of light refract at slightly different angles when passing through a lens system, resulting in colored fringes or halos around objects in the image. Yeah, well, I guess I'll take that. Start offset. I have no idea what to set these to. Film grain, no. Darkens the edges of the screen. Psh, Hell no, I don't want that. Where's this? Look at that. Why would I want that? Maybe for taking screenshots? Sharpness. I don't know. I don't want any of that. Overall quality. I wish there was an auto detect feature. Let me save this so far. Overall quality, epic. Shadows. Post-processing. I don't really want any depth of field. Anti-aliasing. Medium shading. Nanite. Control the settings for this switcher. I don't know what that does. Is nanite, is that where it is more detailed the closer you get to the object? Like, lumen, screen space, disabled. Lumen. I mean, everything looks greener with lumen. I don't know what these should be. I don't know what any of this should be. Whether to trace against the screen for reflections before falling back to other methods will improve performances and quality. In other cases, it may introduce weird reflections. I don't know. Reflection method. Values reduce noise and reflections but increase the GPU cost. Right now it's at 1. Max reflection bounces. Maximum number of recursive reflection bounces. 1 means a single reflection ray. No secondary reflections in mirrors. Goes up to 64? Ray tracing and hit lightning. Hit lightning. Max refraction bounces. Hit lightning. HD translucency reflections. There's blah blah blah. Quality on car windows, for example. I guess. Screen traces. Didn't we already do that? We already had a screen traces setting. Trace against the screen for reflections. Trace against the screen for reflections. One is lumen, and the other is under lumen. Global illumination and lumen reflection settings. Dude, I don't know. Max roughness to trace? I don't know. Ray tracing. It's hardware ray tracing for Lumen. Shouldn't... I mean, if some of these are dependent on whether you have ray tracing on, shouldn't ray tracing be up here, whether you're using it or not? It's hardware ray tracing for Lumen. Cost for scenes with more than 100 shows. Whether Lumen should trace against mesh sign distance fields? I have no idea what that is. Tracing coaling distance? I have no idea. Ambient occlusion. Approximating ambient occlusion effects in real time by analyzing the depth, buffer, and scene geometry. Unlike ray-traced ambient occlusion, SSAO is less computationally expensive but can produce less accurate results. It adds realistic shadowing and contact shadows between objects, improving the overall depth and realism of the scene. I don't know, I guess. I have no idea. Shouldn't video be before graphics? Full screen, thank you. HDR? I guess I don't have an HDR anti-aliasing. TSR. So there's no... V-Sync. I guess. Normal vision. What is this? Now see, I can see all the U's except this one maybe down here. And I'm about as colorblind as you can be. Deuteranope. This one is harder to see now. This one's still is hard to see. Protanope. This one's still hard to see. That one's pretty hard to see. Tritanope. That's not me at all. See, if I go to Deuteranope, it takes away some of the color. That's weird because I'm about as colorblind as you could be, and the normal vision setting is the best one for me. Gamma. I don't know. I'm leaving that alone. Oh, here's the Discord. Here, let me... Okay, I'll be back in a few. Yeah, I just want to make sure I got some things taken care of before I start playing. Okay, I'm back. What about sound settings? There's no sound settings? Server browser. Hey, right off the bat, I've got an AK-74. I'll take that. Ooh, Russian's got an AK-12. Ratnik backpack. There's a PvE and PvP. Must be some AI soldiers. Limited visibility. Flights for Krinky. Region, US East. Team. I guess auto's fine. Map, Q. Oh, I gotta choose the map. Well, the UI is kind of high-tech looking, but the small fonts kind of make it hard to see what's going on. And some of the buttons are kind of not intuitively highlighted. Hopefully there is a playtest going on right now. Closed pre-alpha PvP servers stress test. Does not represent final product under development. There's 5 in queue and 4 on the Russian side. Click this? No. 5 and 5. Oh, lost one. You know, in cases like this, I wish they would just, you know, if it takes too long to start a match, I wish they would just start it with fewer players. Otherwise, you could be all here all night waiting for the minimum number of players on each side to show up. Oh look, it's got my Steam information up there. It says I got 0 XP. Looks like I got 200,000 of something. Is that a currency? 412 hours. Is that hours? Kill to death ratio is 2? I can't be talking about me. Six and 6. Let's go, that's enough. You know what? Let's try EU Central. It's only got 2 and 2. Probably because they're all asleep right now. 3 and 3. 4 and 3. 4 and 2. Well, this is looking more promising. I hope I have a good ping. It's probably going to be hard as hell to tell who the friendlies and enemies are. Hopefully it's 10 versus 10. Oh. You know, I don't even know what the keybinds are. What's this? movement is kind of weird. So where am I? So they just give you a map and then... Is that a dude shooting at me? Is that me making that noise? There's a lot of snow. I suggest scaling down the snow a little bit. I'm wondering how much of an impact on the system that is. Oh. I'm assuming that guy's Ukrainian. He's shooting at me. H for heal. Inventory. Oh, just a temperature. Blue, that's Ukrainian, right? drive me? Oh, I'm killed in action. He's gonna take my stuff. Okay, well, that's the first look at it.